Krishna Kirtana Ganana Tanapano Premamritam Manidhi
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuranmilitan Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vichaitannamanavistam Stavitan Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Karamaya Dadanti Swapadanti Kam. First of all, I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Diksha Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Satara Satasisi Matsula A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Then I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Sannyas Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Satara Satasisi Mad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha Gurus, Srila Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Bhagavan, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, unto Sri Arjuna, the hearer of Bhagavad Gita, unto the Srimad Bhagavad Gita itself, and I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the great acharyas who wrote commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Sridhar Swamipad, Sri Ramanujacharya, Sri Madhvacharya, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Baldev Vijayabhushan, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I offer my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are present here today. Dandavat Pranam. So, following the structure of the Gita, 3 sections. First section is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Then second section is Bhakti Yoga, teaching Kevala Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti. Third section is Gyan. Okay. So, the question asked, we went over the first 6 chapters. We've gone over the second 6. We're on the 12th chapter right now. The first question asked in the 12th chapter is, which is more perfect? The one who performs worship to your personal form, or to the impersonal and manifest? Krishna answers it emphatically, those who worship my personal manifest form and devotional service are superior. Then Krishna lays out the different levels of devotional service which we discussed last night. The next question is going to be 13.1. Now we're going to finish the discussion of the 12th chapter by looking from verses 13 and 14 to verse 20, which is the last verse in that chapter. It's just a short chapter. It's only 20 verses in the 12th chapter. So this is Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. And this chapter defines all the levels of Bhakti Yoga. We discussed it yesterday from Srila Narayan Maharaj's purport and Srila Prabhupada's purport in different ways. Now, in this 13th and 14th verse, there's going to be discussion about the nature of what Krishna expects from his devotee, what kind of behavior he expects from his devotee, how he expects them to execute devotional service, what mood he expects them to have, and also he expresses how one who has this mood and executes devotional service in this mood is very, very dear to him. Okay? He's defined the different levels of devotional service. Now he's going to tell us what mood we should perform devotional service in, what attitude we should approach it with. And when we do that, how much he appreciates it. Immediately, Krishna gives us appreciation. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities. The first sentence, one should not be envious. We've talked before about envy. In Sanskrit, adveshta, not envious. Adveshta. You should be non-envious. So, we have talked about how Srila Narottam Das Thakur explains that envy is the one item of the 6 negative emotions, the 6 anarthas, that cannot be dovetailed in the service of Krishna. This envy has to be pulled out by the root, removed completely. No envy. This is very important. The others, calm, lust, krodha, anger, lobh, greed, madness, illusion, pride, mada, moha. Moha is madness, illusion, and mada is pride. So these things, these can be removed by dovetailing. Hanuman dovetailed his anger in Krishna's service by becoming angry with the demons, not by becoming angry with the devotees. This is not dovetailing anger. One should not be angry with the devotees. One should not criticize the devotees. One should always be nice to the devotees. Not envious, and a kind friend to all living entities, especially the devotees. And lust. Gopis, they were able to dovetail their lust in the service of Krishna. And lobha, greed. One dovetails his greed in the service of Krishna by becoming greedy to hear Harikatha from saints and sadhus. This is how you dovetail greed. Because that is the greatest treasure. And you can never collect enough of it. So, one who is not envious, but who is a kind friend to all living entities. And another point is Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that envy is the root. The others are inside of envy. Lust, anger, greed, madness, pride, illusion. These are all inside of envy. if we can pull out the envy by the root, the others will fall very quickly. One who is not envious, but who is kind, a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor. There's one statement earlier in the Gita about being a kind friend to all living entities. How can you be like that? Vidyavanaya sampane, that pandita samadarshana. You have to have a vision that whether it is a dog or a dog eater or an elephant or tiger or whatever, that all of them have Krishna and soul and super soul. You see spiritually, you don't see materially. Pandita Samadarshana. So you become a friend to all living entities. How? Because you see all living entities as spiritual. You don't see bodies. You don't see different species. You don't see man and woman. You don't see black and white. You don't see old and young. You see only spiritual. You're not envious, and you become a friend to all living entities, and you do not think yourself the proprietor. How can you be proprietor? You know the story of Maitreya Rishi? Maitreya Rishi, he had one blessing, that he would live for one day of Brahma for each hair on his head. As the hairs fell out, then he will, when the last hair falls out, then he will expire. So whenever that's how long he's living. So whenever the pralaya comes, the flood, there's a temporary.
Maitreya or Markandeya?
Markandeya? I thought it was Maitreya. It was Markandeya? Maybe it's Markandeya. Markandeya Rishi. Whenever the pralaya comes, Markandeya Rishi. Yes, it is Markandeya. So whenever the pralaya comes, then that Rishi, he has to float on some raft in the ocean until the pralaya stops, and then again the universe, all the planetary systems come, and then he comes again to live on the Earth planet. So he is sitting on the bank of the river, Ganges River, and he is meditating. And someone suggested to him that why don't you make some hut to stay in that. Instead of being out in the elements, you should make a hut. He told, I'm only here temporarily. He is living billions and billions of years. But he's saying, I'm only here temporarily. So we should not think of ourselves as the proprietor of anything. We don't own anything. When we're born, we are naked. When we die, we are naked. You can't take anything with you, and you can't bring anything from the past. I was remembering how my son was asking when he had a vision of his past life. He was about 2.5 years old. He was asking, where are my servants? Where are my servants? Where is my money? You can't bring it with you. No servants, no money. Yes. who is free from false ego and equal both in happiness and distress. False ego means to identify with this body and senses. Body means senses. So to identify. What are you identifying with? You identify yourself with one of the opulences of Krishna. I am wealthy. I'm powerful. I am very knowledgeable. I am very beautiful. These are all opulences of Krishna. You identify with that. Actually, there's some envy is there. But it is bodily identification. It is part of your false egotistical mentality. Who are you? I am Mr. Millionaire. Or I am Miss Universe. Or I am President of the United States, most powerful man. I am something. I am this opulence. False egotistical identification. So we should not have this false ego. We should be free from false ego. We should understand Jiva Sarup Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. My eternal nature is servant of Krishna. And we should be equal both in happiness and distress. If there's happiness, then we should be okay. Happiness, good. Krishna's mercy, thank you for the happiness. If there's distress, okay, thank you, Krishna. Distress, now I understand I'm not this body. One time, somebody said to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, the prasadam you cooked was so good, so delicious. So Prabhupada wanted to teach us something. So he said, if the prasadam is good, thank Krishna. And if it is not good, then please excuse me. So this is the mood. A person who is always satisfied and engaged in devotional service with determination. Always satisfied with whatever Krishna provides. Okay, Krishna is providing me with this much, okay, I'm happy. We should not be hankering or lamenting. Hankering for more or lamenting that we have less or that we lost something. No hankering, no lamentation. Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives that poem. You know the poem of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Let the past sleep. The past. Past should sleep. We should not lament. Oh, in the past, I had this, I had that. I had something wonderful. Now that something is gone. In the past, problem was there. So like this, there is lamentation. Lamentation. So, no lamentation. Let the past sleep. Whatever happened before, it is gone. Nor the future dream at all. We should not be hankering or full of expectation about future. I want more money. I want this. I want that. I want. I was giving advice to someone the other day, and they said to me, Maharaj, I want to make it big in the world. I said, what? What does big mean? What does it mean that you want to make it big? All the big people, Prabhupada used to say, how the big people are all gone. The Roman lion is gone, the British lion is gone, the German lion is gone. All the lions are gone. They come and they go. The French lion, gone. First it was Rome, then it was Napoleon, then it was Britain, then it was Germany. In the end, all the lions are gone. You make it big, and then you become down. You know the story? Purva Mosika Baba? Purva Mosika Baba. A small mouse came to a sage, and he told the sage, "You have to help me because the cat is chasing me." So the sage said, "So what do you want?" "I want to be a cat, and then the cat won't chase me." "Okay, become a cat." Then the cat came after a few days. "Oh, great sage, you please help me. Now the dog is chasing me." "What do you want?" "I want to become a dog. Then the dog won't chase me." "Okay, become a dog." So by the power of the sage, then first mouse became cat, then cat became dog. Then the dog came. "Oh, great sage, problem." "What is the problem now?" "Oh, the tiger is chasing me, going to eat me." "What do you want?" "I want to become a tiger." "Now you want to be tiger? Okay, become a tiger." So then he becomes tiger. Then he's looking at the sage. "Oh, now I want to eat you." "Oh, you want to eat me, huh?" Purnamasika Bhava. Again, become a mouse. This is the material world. We try to become a big tiger and we again become a mouse. In the end, everything is reduced to this. You cannot become a very big person. So you should be satisfied. Satisfied with what Krishna is providing. Satisfaction. Oh, today this is what Krishna has given me. So I am happy. And engaged in devotional service with determination. You should practice bhakti with determination. And you should try to, whatever the principles, whatever stage you are at, you should try to perform the principles of bhakti consistently and continuously. Anukuyena Krishnanushilanam. The example is given that the bhakti should be performed just like the honey is coming from the jar down into the cup. It is a continuous flow. There is no break. So there should be no break. It should be continuous. And with determination, Dridha Vrata. In 9th chapter, that is discussed in the verse number 13, when it describes the Mahatmas. What is their nature? Mahatmanastu mampartam daivam prakritim ashritaha pajanti ananya manaso ganatva bhutadam avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of my divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridha vrata. This is verse 14. Namasyantas chamam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination. Bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So, be satisfied and engage in devotional service with determination. and whose mind and intelligence are always in agreement with me. Such a person, he is very dear to me, Krishna says. When you have this attitude, not envious, kind to all living entities, do not think oneself the proprietor, always satisfied and engaged in devotional service, equal in happiness and distress, free from false ego, engaged with determination, and your mind and intelligence in agreement with Krishna, then very dear to Krishna. And Prabhupada, he makes some very good points here in this purport. Coming again to the point of pure devotional service, because Krishna has described different levels of devotional service up to verse number 12, from 6 to 12. Now in 14, Prabhupada states, coming again to the point of pure devotional service, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualifications of a pure devotee in these two verses. A pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances, nor is he envious of anyone, nor does a devotee become his enemy's enemy. He thinks that one is acting as his enemy due to his past misdeeds. Thus, it is better to suffer than to protest. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Tate nukampam sushikshamano. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far, far greater than I am suffering now. So it is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that I am getting all the punishment. I am not getting all the punishment that I am due. I'm just getting a little by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, this kind of devotee is always calm, quiet, and patient, despite many distressful conditions. A devotee who is always kind to everyone, even to his enemy, nirmama, means that the devotee does not attach much importance to the peace and trouble pertaining to the body, because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. In this way, Prabhupada gives some instruction about the nature of the consciousness that we should have in order to be in pure devotional service. In verse 15, he for whom no one is put into difficulty. He for whom no one is put into difficulty. A devotee does not create difficulty for anyone else. He does not behave in such a way that causes anyone else to be anxious, irritated, agitated, unhappy. It is not proper. The devotee should show love and affection to the devotees. Should do things with love and affection to the devotees. Make the devotees feel comfortable and happy. This is stated in the beginning of the 9th chapter, that the process of devotional service is joyfully performed. And the joy comes in having the service attitude of taking care of the devotees and serving the devotees. And one who serves the devotees, Krishna becomes very happy with him. One who says he's my devotee is not my devotee. One who says he's the devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. Krishna says this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his Godruma Bhajana Upadesha that Hari Sevaka Sevana Dharma Paro. Hari Sevaka Sevana, service to the servant of Hari, Dharma Paro, is Param Dharma, supreme religion. The highest religion is serving the servants of Hari. This is the highest. So, he for whom no one is put into difficulty. We should never do anything to create distress, pain, or anxiety to any living entity. We should not put any living entity into any kind of difficulty. And we should never be disturbed by anxiety. We should never be anxious or worry. Why should we be free from anxiety? Who can say why we should be free from anxiety? We should be free from anxiety because we know that we are being sheltered by Krishna. That Guru and Krishna is our shelter. They are our protector. Goptrita Varanam. I am under the shelter of Sri Krishna. This is Sharanagati. Goptrita Varanam. I am under the shelter of Krishna. Then we offer whatever we do to Krishna. In this mood. First we surrender, then we do the bhajan. You understand? So, therefore there's no anxiety. Why is there no anxiety? Because we know that everything we are doing is pleasing Krishna. Therefore, no anxiety. Who is steady in happiness and distress? Happiness and distress come all the time. Someday happiness, next day distress. Someday happiness, next day distress. Always happiness and distress will come. But we should not be disturbed. We should just accept. Oh, there's one story about this. It is a Chinese proverb. A man, he has a very beautiful, strong horse to plow the field. So when the winter was over and it came springtime, it's time for plowing the field, preparing the field, this horse, being locked up in the barn all winter, was feeling some desire to run. So the horse ran off. He ran off, disappeared. Now the man had no horse to plow the field. So the neighbors in the village came and said, "Oh, we're so sorry. Now it is time to plow your field. It is springtime and your horse has ran off. Oh, this is so regrettable, so regrettable. So much distressing news. We are very sorry." The farmer said, "Perhaps, maybe, we will see." Then, after 1 or 2 days, the horse returned with 7 other wild horses. Now the man had 8 horses. So then everyone came, "Oh, how fortunate you are today. Now you have 8 horses. So many horses have come to be with you, and now you can plow all the fields, and you can do so many things, and you can deliver goods, and you can do this, and you can do that, and so many things you can do. Oh, how fortunate, how fortunate." And the farmer just said, "Perhaps, maybe, we'll see." So then the son was trying to train the horses because they were wild. So trying to train the horses so that the horses could plow the fields. So he was sitting on the back of the horse trying to train the horse, and the horse bucked and he fell off the horse and he broke his leg. So then all the villagers came. "Oh, so distressing. We are very sorry. Now your son has broken his leg. He can't help you plow the field. He can't take care of the horses. You have to do all the work on your own. We are so sorry. We are so sorry. Perhaps. Maybe. We'll see. Then war broke out. And the king comes to all the villages to take all the young men to go to war. So he comes to the village with the soldiers, and he's taking everybody's sons away to go to war. But this man's son has a broken leg, so he can't fight, so he leaves him at home. So then all the villagers come, oh, so fortunate you are. Your son's leg is broken. Now he's not going anywhere. He does not have to go to war, so you are very lucky. Your son will not die in the war. We may lose our sons, but your son is safe here. How fortunate you are. The farmer said, perhaps, maybe. We'll see. So, happiness and distress. It comes and goes. You understand? It comes and goes. It comes and goes. So one should be steady in happiness and steady in distress, not put anyone into difficulty and not be disturbed by anxiety. And by doing all these things, Krishna says, such a person is very dear to me. A few of a devotee's qualifications are further being described. No one is put into difficulty, anxiety, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by such a devotee. No one. Since a devotee is kind to everyone, he does not act in a way to put others into anxiety. At the same time, if others try to put a devotee into anxiety, he is not disturbed. It is by the grace of the Lord that he is so practiced that he is not disturbed by any outward disturbance. Actually, because a devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness and engaged in devotional service, all such material circumstances cannot woo him. You understand the word woo? It means to try and seduce. Generally, a materialistic person becomes very happy when there is something for his sense gratification of his body. But when he sees that others have something for their sense gratification and he does not, he is sorry and he is envious. When he is expecting some retaliation from an enemy, he is in a state of fear. And when he cannot successfully execute something, he becomes dejected. But a devotee is always transcendental to all these disturbances. Therefore, he is very dear to Krishna. So, very important. He is never sorry. He is never envious. One should never be envious of another person's good fortune. If someone gets good fortune, if someone gets the mercy of Krishna by being given wealth or beauty or power or fame or whatever they're given, one should be happy, okay? By their sukriti or their karma or whatever, they have gotten the mercy of Guru and Krishna and they have become famous or they have become powerful or wealthy or whatever. The desire to bring down another person out of envy, this is due to insecurity, envy and insecurity. This person has become more than me, so I will bring him down because I don't have the qualifications to go up. I am such a poor-hearted, unqualified person that the only way I can equalize myself with him is to bring him down by denigrating him. This is a sign of insecurity. When you see people criticizing others, speaking things about them, making them feel bad about themselves, this is due to their own fears and insecurities about their personal behavior and their personal life. And so their happiness is derived by bringing down others. So when he sees that others have something for their sense gratification, he should become very happy. Oh, they have gotten something. That is by Krishna's mercy, by their karma or their sukriti or whatever. They have gotten the mercy of Krishna and they have gotten something. And you should congratulate them. Very good. You have got something very nice. Good for you. Please use it in Krishna's service. No envy should be there. A devotee who's not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some result, is very dear to me. I remember Srila Prabhupada telling us in Mayapur one time, he was saying indirectly, but we understood the meaning of his speech. He said, he told me, he, meaning Krishna, he told me, you please come here. And I said, I don't want to go. And he said, no, I need you to go there, please. You please go to that place and preach. I don't want to go to that dirty place. No, when you go there, I will give you palaces to live in. Many nice palaces. So you will not feel any discomfort. I still don't want to go. Please, you must go because I need you to write these books. So, because he asked me, I came here. Prabhupada told us like this. Then, also, Srila Prabhupada, he was never attached to those palaces. He was never attached. When he came to Bhubaneswar, that time was 1977. By that time, he had big palatial temples all over the world where he could stay. And Bhubaneswar was a new project, just starting. And Gaur Govinda Maharaj was there. He made 2 mud huts. One hut he was staying in with the servants of Prabhupada, and the other mud hut Prabhupada stayed in. It was made of straw and mud, with a straw roof and mud walls, and cow dung, and straw roof and bamboo. Very rustic, very simple. Sadhananda Prabhu has seen. And Prabhupada was staying there. And I knew, because I was selling the books to all the libraries and ministries in Orissa, I knew all the most important people. So I brought the Speaker of the House of Legislature for the state of Orissa. I brought the Minister of Culture. I brought 2 multimillionaire businessmen, all to come and see Prabhupada. So they came there to see Prabhupada, and they said, "Why you are staying here in this hut? I have palaces to give you, the head of the legislature. I have so many palatial buildings. I will give you a big suite. I will give you this. I will give you that." Oh, no. This is Krishna's land. This is what Krishna has provided me. And so we will stay in this hut. And we will preach from here. This is Krishna's place. He was not interested in living in palatial buildings. He was satisfied with whatever Krishna provided. And he had to go, that there was no toilet in that room. He had to walk out of the room, outside, into the corner of the field where there was a toilet set up for him that was surrounded by bamboo walls. And he used that toilet, and then there was a shower set up for him, surrounded by bamboo walls, and then he went in the shower. So he did everything in the most rustic, simple manner. And he was not completely well either. He was not well. But he did everything. He did everything. Because he said, "I'm satisfied with what Krishna has provided me. I am not dependent on the course of ordinary activities. I accept whatever Krishna gives me, and I don't make any arrangements for having better accommodations or better situation. I just accept. This is what Krishna has given me." And so Prabhupada was very happy, all these men. And that one millionaire, he came out from there and he said to me, "He is a real sadhu. He is the real guru. I have met so many gurus. They are all living now in palaces, but your guru is got the real humility. He is living here in the mud hut. Even though he has so many palaces all over the world he could live in, he's living here in this mud hut. And even though I could provide him such a big place to live in, still he won't go. Because he has the true humility. He is the real sadhu." All these men became very impressed. Big leaders. They could understand. They could see. They could recognize Prabhupada's purity. A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some result, is very dear to me. Striving for some result means material results. Like this man was asking me. I wanted to make it big. We should not be so attached to becoming big. One devotee was in the temple in Los Angeles, and he was shouting at all the devotees, "You have to do this, you have to do that, you're not doing what you're told. I'm the temple commander, I am the temple commander, I am telling you, you have to do this, you have to do that." He was shouting here and there like this. So Prabhupada heard him shouting. Then Prabhupada came out. "Oh, you're temple commander. You are temple commander in this temple on Watsika Avenue, which is in the city of Los Angeles, which is in the state of California, which is in the country of America, which is on the planet Earth, which is one of the planets in this universe, which is one universe of millions of universe, like a mustard seed in a bag of mustard seeds. And you are shouting, 'I am temple commander.' Who are you?" You understand how insignificant? Money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. He should accept whatever is offered. And you should not falsely renounce money. There was one so-called sadhu. Oh, if somebody gives me money, my hand curls away like this. He used to me. Curls away. Prabhupada said, if someone offers me money, I take the money with my right hand to give to Krishna, and I put out my left hand for more. So I can get more for Krishna. Because it is all Krishna's money. What is money? Money is Lakshmi. Who is Lakshmi? Lakshmi is Krishna's consort. Lakshmi belongs with Krishna, not in the hands of ordinary persons. If you try to have Lakshmi without Narayan, then you will become Ravana. Who tries to have Lakshmi without Narayan is Ravana, demon. But a devotee is not hankering, oh, I need money, I need money, I need money. No, a devotee accepts, okay, you give me money, okay, you don't give me money, okay, whatever. If automatically by the grace of the Supreme money comes to him, he is not agitated. Naturally, a devotee, see, like this, Prabhupada, when he was given Alfred Fort and Lekha Shravanti, she was the daughter of Walter Reuther. Walter Reuther was the one who started the unions he fought against Ford. The great-great-grandfather of Alfred Ford fought with Walter Reuther over whether there would be labor laws and unions and fair pay and health care and all the pensions and all these things. So they used to fight. And then their descendants became devotees. Alfred Ford and Lekha Shravanti, I don't remember what her name was, that she was the daughter of Walter Reuther. So they bought, it was a very interesting confluence of things. Walter Reuther's daughter, Henry Ford's great-great-great-grandson, pooled their finances together to buy the Fisher Mansion, Body by Fisher for GM, General Motors. So the man, Mr. Fisher, was the one who made those big muscle cars, all those GM cars with the big bodies, the big strong bodies. It was called Body by Fisher. The Buick and the Oldsmobile and all of that. General Motors cars. So it was a very interesting confluence, which they put, it got a lot of press. Walter Reuther's daughter, Henry Ford's great-great-grandson, buying General Motors Fisher Mansion for Hare Krishna. It was like a field day for the press. So this was a big palace. The Fisher Mansion was a huge palace. There was 40 rooms in the Fisher Mansion. It was on a river. It had a boathouse that was inside so that the boat went right into the river. It's still in Detroit. It's up there now. You can go and see it. We still have the Fisher Mansion. And it was a beautiful, beautiful property. And Prabhupada came in and he was looking at the Fisher Mansion. He was looking at all the rooms and everything. And he was expressing how Krishna is very merciful and very kind to provide such a nice building for Krishna's service. And he warned all the devotees, don't become enamored. by the opulence of this place. And then he showed it to us. He demonstrated by his own activities that although he could have stayed in the Fisher Mansion, he was staying in a mud hut in Orissa. This is being completely independent of all material desires, completely dependent on Krishna. And when Prabhupada got money, he was not agitated. He just engaged in Krishna service. Okay, we buy this building and we use it for Krishna. When he got money, he printed books. He always engaged all the things that he got for Krishna's service. Thus, a devotee is always expert because he fully knows the sense of all activities in life, and he's convinced of the authoritative scriptures. A devotee never takes the part of a particular party, therefore he is carefree. When we were in the 60s, Prabhupada used to preach to us about the Mahabharata war and the fact that it was a war of dharma, a religious war, fought to protect dharma and righteousness and to stop the demons, And we were brought up to believe that the communists were demons and they were very bad and evil people, and Stalin had killed 10 million people in order to take power. We were given the sense and understanding of the evil that was Chinese and Russian communism at the time. And they were fighting this war in Vietnam to stop communism. And yet, those people who were fighting that war, they had no interest in Krishna consciousness. It was supposed to be a righteous war to stop the communists, to stop the atheists, the anti-godly people. And the people who were marching against the war, all the hippies and the young people, they were coming to our temples. And they were chanting and they were taking prasadam and becoming devotees. So somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, well, the hippies are against the war, but they come to our temples. But the people who are for the war to stop the atheists and the demons, they don't come to our temple. But who should we support? Who should we support? So, Prabhupada says here, a devotee never takes the part of a particular party, therefore he is carefree. Prabhupada said, we're not supporting either side, because both sides eat meat. Both sides eat meat. Therefore, no side can be supported. I remember when I was in Los Angeles in Narayan Maharaj's temple managing things, they sometimes had these parades, peace parades and environmental parades, and they would come and visit the temple. So I would ask them, you're marching for peace? Yeah. Are you vegetarian? Are you vegetarian? You're not vegetarian? No. If you don't want peace for the animals, then you're not really for peace. He is never pained. The pure devotee is never pained because he is free from all designations. He knows that his body is a designation. So, if there are some bodily pains, he is free. The pure devotee does not endeavor for anything which is against the principles of devotional service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take to such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord, and for that he may take all kinds of anxiety, but he does not construct a big house for his personal relations. So very important what Prabhupada is saying here. Prabhupada took a lot of pain and difficulty to construct Mayapur and Vrindavan and Bombay. So much stress he took to make these projects work. So much. But he established the Krishna consciousness movement in India, and its influence in India now is amazing. It is probably the most powerful and influential religious movement in India. Very influential. One who neither grasps pleasure or grief, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspiciousness and inauspicious things, is very dear to me. We were talking before about this poem of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, hankering, expectations. I expect something to happen in the future. One should let the past sleep, nor should they dream of the future at all. No lamentation about the past, no expectation or hankering for the future. Be with times that are with thee. Be present. They talk about, what do they call it? Mindfulness. Be mindful. Be in the present. Be here now. And progress you shall call, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Doesn't mean you don't make plans. We have to make some plans. And we have to learn from our mistakes. So we let the past sleep means that we learn from our mistakes and we move on and we don't lament about it. Nor the future dream at all means that we don't conjure up in our mind some expectation about what the future is going to bring us. We make plans, okay? 1 year from now, I'll finish school, then I'll get my job, then I'll get married, then I'll get this. So we make plans. Plans is there. If the plans don't work out, okay, the plans are not working out, Krishna's arrangement, plan B. You understand? No expectation of that plans will work out. You just accept whatever Krishna arranges. We should not try to get pleasure. We should not grasp at grief. We should not lament. We should not desire. We should renounce both auspicious and inauspicious things. We should do all this and we will become very dear to Krishna. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equiposed in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contamination, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service, is very dear to me. The devotee is always free of all bad association. Sometimes one is praised and sometimes one is defamed. That is the nature of human society. So we have to accept, okay, now you're defaming me. Okay, what can I do? He's very patient. He does not speak of anything. Therefore, he is called silent because he only speaks about Krishna. Silent does not mean that one should not speak. It means that one should not speak nonsense, speak about Krishna. One should speak only of essentials, and the most essential speech is for a devotee is to speak of the Supreme Lord. He is happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable food, sometimes he may not, but he is satisfied. Nor does he care for any particular residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree, and he may sometimes live in a very palatial building. He is attracted to neither. So he who follows this imperishable path of devotional service, and who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. So Prabhupada ends this chapter by saying, in this chapter, the religion of eternal engagement, the explanation of the process of transcendental service for approaching the Supreme Lord is given. This process is very dear to the Lord, and he accepts a person who is engaged in such a process. The question, who is better? One who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman, or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna, and the Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the personality of Godhead is the best of all processes of spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter, it is decided that through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotional service, and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. This path is recommended in this chapter. Therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization, for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonal conception of the Supreme Absolute Truth as described in this chapter is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with a pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth, one works without fruit of result, meditates and cultivates knowledge to understand spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as one is not in the association of a pure devotee. Fortunately, if one develops directly a desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, he does not need to undergo step-by-step improvements in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as described in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically. Here Prabhupada ends this purport, ends this chapter, and ends this 6 chapters on devotional service by describing and emphasizing what his pranam mantra is about. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. I am here to destroy the impersonal and voidist conceptions in the Western world. And this is what he does simply by expressing what Krishna's direct statements are in Bhagavad Gita. As we talked about in the 9th chapter, when we came to verse 34, Mamana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mandamaskaru, Krishna is saying, unto me, unto me, unto me, unto me. And some other person who translated that verse and who wrote the commentary said, not to Krishna, not to Krishna. To the unborn, the undying, the impersonal Brahman within Krishna. But here, Krishna says, only 3 chapters later in the 12th chapter, no. No. Klesho dikataras tesham, avyakta shakta tetasam, avyakta hi gatir dukam. Dukam. Dukam means so much trouble. It is so much trouble for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme. Advancement is troublesome, very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Therefore, when Arjuna asks, which is better, what should I do or what should I not do, Krishna's immediate answer is, the Blessed Lord said, he whose mind is fixed on my personal form always engaged in worshiping me, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru, with great and transcendental faith is considered by me to be most perfect. So it is not clear, it is very clear here. It is not the impersonal form that we should worship. The impersonal conception of the Supreme Absolute, as described in this chapter, is not recommended. Only up to a certain point, until he surrenders to the sadhu. The question, who is better, one who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna, and the Lord replied to him explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the personality of Godhead is the best of all processes of spiritual realization. The Prabhupada emphasizes this. So here we see there's no question. We could not possibly translate or comment on 934 as not to Krishna. It must mean to Krishna, because that is what he says here in this 12th chapter. Me, me, me. Again and again he's saying, if you do this, 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 and this, you become very dear to me. If you do this, 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 and this, that person is dear to me. If you do all these other things, you become very dear to me. If you do more things, the result is that you're dear to me. Dear to me, to me, to me, to me. Mum, 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 mum. Again and again, Krishna is saying to me, Yo mad bhakta same priya. You are very dear to me. Mukto ya sa chame priya. Yo mad bhakta same priya. Bhaktiman me priyo nara. Bhaktiman ya same priya. You are dear to me. You are dear to me. You are dear to me. Again and again, Krishna is saying this thing. We should not conclude any other thing. We should not be confused. We should not come up with any other idea or any other conception. We should accept what Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the process of worshiping him is pure devotional service and nothing else. Now, we will begin tomorrow with this 13th chapter. Very important chapter, nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. This talks about the nature of the material world and all these other things. There was a time when I had memorized all these verses when I was young. Prabhupada asked about what we should give people. I told him we should give them knowledge. He said, what knowledge? Then I quoted all these verses and explained it word for word. He listened to me for about 10 minutes. It's on tape. When I finished explaining everything, he said, very good. He said, this is very good. He liked that I could do this. So, all this knowledge is here in Bhagavad Gita. So we will start with this. Now this is the 6 chapters on Jnana Yoga. Why Jnana Yoga? Tomorrow I will explain why we have to have this knowledge of Gyan Mishra Bhakti. Because by understanding this, we will understand what is our position. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.